This is the right account.
It's always the question, isn't it? And it looks like we're live.
And we're live. All right, and the viewers flood in.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, that's just how this works. And there he is.
All right, we'll start.
Gotta pull up the chat.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's way too thick. I'm just painting the salamander.
And Nick is also here.
Nick is also here.
So what's the goal for this day?
I guess, I don't know, trying to make them look good. Clean up the blue. Right now I'm doing a little edge highlighting on this guy's armor.
Mm-hmm.
Doing white at the top, and I think on the bottom I'm either going to do a darker blue or a green.
Green.
The more colorful they get,
the
more things will start to look like choices and not mistakes.
Perfect. I got the video for tomorrow done.
Ooh, the one about the tassels.
Yes.
Yay! That's a good one.
Love good tassels.
The one I shot today should be
really
pretty good too. About the guys on sticks.
Love a good vague comment. Guys on sticks. I almost didn't know what that meant.
It's Lucky Bat.
I like a good guy on a stick.
Hello, Lucky Bat.
Love a good Lucky Bat.
We got our first comment. And the first commenter wins nothing.
Nope. A new car? But it's given to us, and then we sell it for money. That's just how it works.
Team Hope and Ash are also here. Hi, Hope and Ash. Good to have you.
Wow.
Still painting some salamanders. I'm doing a little edge highlighting with white to try to bring out some of the details in these guys' armor. See, look at how this shoulder pad just lights up now that it has a little bit of the details picked out.
A little bit extra sass, if you will.
Yeah, some sassafras. Sassafras, what's in Coke?
I think that's cocaine. Is there anything in Coke?
Sugar.
It's mostly what it is.
There's something. Yes, these are the brand new, never before seen. It's a new army for 40k. It's the Salamander Ninjas. Just came out today, actually. If you hop onto the Warhammer communities, you'll see. No, these are not. These are not 40k models. These are Cobra Mode
I wish they were.
sculpted salamander ninjas. They are super fun and super cute.
They are.
Void 16 is on their way to go purchase the new 40k models.
Perfect.
Speaking of 40k models, I think the Chaplain on bike comes out this weekend, and if so, I'm definitely picking one up. Love me a Chaplain.
Do you think they'll have it at the store?
No, that's not how. No, pre-orders are always give us the money now, and then you'll get it shipped to the store one of these days.
Hmm.
What's interesting though, I think they are having production issues, but apparently, like they put out a statement saying that Australia and like New Zealand are gonna they won't be allowed to pre-order until like October.
Well, that's this month. Like
yeah, late October.
Hmm.
Trying to put just a little more bling into the armor, the little armor pieces. Oops, but not that much. Yeah. There we go. Probably this right here. Damn it. Got a little bit more paint where I didn't want it. There we go. Perfect-ish.
Love it.
I think the 40k, the Space Marine ATV is coming out as well, and the Space Marine gun platform, which are interesting models.
Your favorite
My favorite
models?
models that they've ever made, yes.
Mm-hmm.
By far. I don't think they look like poop. I don't think they...
I mean, they're just...
I don't think they fly in the
They're
face
just not allowed
of...
to have fun with Space Marines.
Yeah, I don't think they fly in the face of the Space Marine design aesthetic. You know, a fast-paced army would definitely, take the time to set up guns. You know, have a couple of guys carry it into place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe hook it up to a horse and just drag it onto the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Void. Void 16. I play Snecrons, Space Marines, Genestealer Cult, Orcs. I mean, I don't play. I collect those things. If I play, it's usually Space Marines. But I have models from Orcs, Space Marines, Necrons, Genestealer Cult, and Deathwatch. And one Imperial Knight with painted in kind of the Skitarii Admech colors. Which I think he's going to need a brother one of these days.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Love a good burp.
Mm-hmm. I think this guy's shirt is almost done, but I do want to throw on a little bit of green. Probably this. I think if I water this down, it'll look neat. Do you have a suggestion on what to pink up first in Orcs? What to paint up? I mean, boys, because you're gonna need a lot of boys. So I would start with boys, and then keep doing boys, and then maybe finish up with a knob and boys.
Yeah.
Just so happens that we might have a few videos on how to paint orcs and how to
That is very
make
true.
orc bases.
Mm.
For what to pick for your
Yeah.
first orcs, I think the start collecting box is pretty good, right? Isn't it it's
It is. It is.
boys, a pain boy, and a kill can, or not a kill can? What's the one bigger than a kill can? Death Dread. I think it's a Death Dread. Might even come with knobs.
I think it comes with knobs as well.
Yeah, that's a deal right there. I would get the orc start collecting.
Let's see. Pain Boy, 5 knobs, 11 boys, 1 Death Dread.
That Pain Boy model is sweet.
Yeah, the Pain Boy model is really good.
Don't really know about the
Yeah, that'd be a good.
The Death Dread is kind of interesting because orcs are so bad at shooting, but it's also slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure it has its place.
Yeah, because it used to be you used to get a truck instead. That made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, because of the boys.
Mm-hmm. I thought they used to have like. Did they have? Maybe they used to have kits where you could get like. Maybe I'm just looking at the wrong area where you could get like the fast ones, the normal ones. You could kind of like pick a starter set almost, and it was like an online exclusive thing.
I think orcs had a regular start collecting, and they had a box of like boys and a truck. I don't know. They for a little while they sold that. I don't know if they just had a surplus of orc models they were trying to clear out.
I don't know.
Or maybe they were just like, well, orcs are really expensive because, each boy is worth a third of a Space Marine.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we get people to want to collect that?
Right. And then also make a bunch of money.
I wonder when the Orc Boy kit is going to get a new makeover. I wonder if they're going to get Primarist.
That'd be pretty funny.
The orc knob becomes the boy. The boy becomes a Gretchen, and then the Gretchen becomes a Snotling.
They better make the knobs a lot cheaper. Yeah. They better make the boys a lot cheaper then. Or the knobs.
Nope.
5 for 25 or whatever it is.
Not a chance.
There's a lot of really cute people. Well, I guess the people are cute, and what they're painting is cute. They're painting up a bunch of Gretchen,
Aww.
and they give them like they make them like little red rosy cheeks with little red noses and stuff. Absolutely adorable on Instagram.
Void 16. I don't know if you need to buy a wet palette. Mine, which I have a video on how I made it, is just a plate, a paper towel, and a piece of parchment paper. It's all I've ever used. It works great. I think a lot of the palettes that you can purchase, they come with a lid. So if you imagine you're going to have a lot of like short painting sessions, and then you're going to put your paint away in the fridge, then you might want to get a product. But I don't like to leave and come back to projects. I like to just get them done, or take a real break from it. So I don't mind setting up a new palette every time. So, but if you're new, I wouldn't buy a wet palette. I would buy not a wet palette. More models. When you're new, you should probably try to limit the amount of kit you buy. All right. Well, the green did something. it made it a little bit greener.
Hmm. It certainly did.
So that's something.
A little bit green. The green really does fit the other two colors that you picked.
Mm-hmm. I like to think that Nick is my Andy Richter. He just makes sure that I'm funny.
Jeez. You set up a good
Mm-hmm.
joke.
Except Nick needs to be meaner
Yeah,
to the viewers, like Andy Richter does.
that's true.
He's always a
Hmm
bit rude.
hmm
Been watching a lot of Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix, and Andy Richter is hilarious in that show.
Yeah, I think I watched the first two seasons of it, and I don't remember any of it.
Mm-hmm.
I barely remember what the show's about.
Never actually. Void 16, yeah, just get a box of boys, you know, a couple of paints, and go to town. There's no wrong
Hmm
answers, except for not painting the models. That's the wrong answer.
Yeah,
If it's a mortal
because
sin to not paint your models.
because the big thing is you can always paint them
Mm-hmm.
again if you don't like them, or if you get better at it later.
Yeah, you can always go back and fix.
Hmm
I've definitely gone back and fixed just like little things. Like, oh, I didn't paint
hmm
anyone's belt. So just right on top of my varnish and everything, just paint something and then hit it again with the varnish. You can always go back.
Back to the Future.
Yes. Ah, Back to the Future. I have not seen that movie in years.
I haven't either.
How do you think Marty met Doc Brown?
That's a great question. I don't know, grinder? That makes sense to
But
me.
Marty's into chicks.
Doesn't matter.
I guess not.
That's what they say in the movie.
Hmm. Wait, so they're aware it's a movie?
Yes, they are. Yep.
Void 16, how do you paint? You take the paint out of the pot and then you put it onto the model. You might need to add a little bit of water if the paint is too thick. But that's pretty much it. You just pick a spot that you need to be brown and then you add brown paint. For orcs, you probably want to go green.
It's a safe bet.
And then once everything is green, you can start to maybe give it a wash. Games Workshop has lots of lovely washes. And then once the green is washed, pick out the shirt and the boots and the pants. And then you should be most of the way there. Probably make the gun a different color.
They meant over again, like over the first time. So they said.
You just
You
nothing
just put the paint
nothing
on it.
special. Is this fan?
I mean, I guess if you really mess it up, you can strip it if you really want
Mm-hmm.
to.
Although if the paint's not too thick, sometimes you can just paint over.
Nah. Yep. Mm-hmm. What were we gonna say about your number one
I was
fan?
gonna say that I don't know. It's getting a little. There is more paint being applied to it. I don't know if it's getting better. Do do do. Do 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 do. Ah. Ah. Too much. Too much purple.
All right, Void 16. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye. Alright, I think the purple helped, but I applied it a little too sloppy. So, I'll be doing a little repair work.
Did you work on these at all in between?
No. Ooh, that's the color. I need to put on a little bit more green. The Sotek green, which I believe is a Necron color. I don't think it exists anymore. Because I think the Sotek is a Necron dynasty. It was one of the more popular ones back in the 2016s. I feel like I don't see a lot of them nowadays. They were the more Egyptian gold and teal.
I like those ones. Those ones are really neat.
And this was the teal in question. Oh yeah, that's helping. I think you go.
I see a lot of just standard cron.
Standard cron. Standard cron is easy. You know, I'm not going to say people who paint standard cron are cowards. Or that they're bad people.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, I really want this fan to start looking a little nicer. I say cleanliness is next to godliness. So this fan is living in sin. That's something though. There's some contrast building up compared to the backside. Oh, that I now just noticed has a big blob of purple on it. Maybe a little.
Yeah, I like the purple.
A little of this and a little white. Love a nice sort of gradient. Is that too much to ask for? Is that too much to ask from the painting gods? Yeah. Oops. A lot of oops.
A lot of oopses.
There we go. There, I can live with that, sort of. Except for this one spot I see, where it's just purple. And I don't want it to be.
I love that so much. Absolutely amazing.
You can see the black coat, the gray kind of worked out. It's black, and then there's some gradients into gray. We're gonna do some pin shading of the purple. Pin shading is when you let a very, very thin paint flow into cracks and crevices on the model. It's kind of like washing, but you just hit very select spots. Tamiya actually sells a lot of products called pin washes that are aimed at Gundam makers for doing all of the little tiny areas. I don't know how useful they'd be for 40k. They'd probably be pretty useful for some armies like Tau. Which is funny because Tau actually already have kind of like a Japanese thing going on. Any Tau players? No, they're not going to want to pipe up because they're Tau players.
Yeah, the only Tau person I know. I don't even think put together the models.
Yep. I think that's true.
Did he? He didn't even do that, right?
I don't think so. I think we knew a guy who was literally that guy. He was that guy.
Ruin all the games. Make sure it's not fun.
He's the reason that I'm fine with template weapons going away. Spending half the game
reading the rules like a
spending half the game
like a lawyer,
checking where the scatter went, and how it always seemed to be just a little more one-sided than I saw it. I know so many people.
I'm pretty sure he won every game.
I think so, probably.
He won a lot of games.
He did. But
well, he had to, or else it wasn't fun for him.
Yes, that's true. I know. There's a lot of people who miss the templates, but I don't know. I guess they were just lucky to have opponents who were always super cool about it. Because it always is it was a little mushy. And just the logic of, all right, however many models are underneath this template get hit with a really powerful blast. So, all of them? Is that exactly where it goes? Are you sure it doesn't miss one guy? I'm pretty sure it hits them all. Remember, one of our poor friends, I think, had an entire squad of Chaos Space Marines they had just bought, wiped off the board in one. In one basilisk.
And that
hit.
And I mean, that's just how it works. And he was the kind of guy, he wanted to play all the armies that were good.
This was...
He's like, if there's a way to make it all perfect and good and cheaty, I'm gonna make that happen so that it's not fun for anyone. Not even for him. It wasn't fun for him. He
didn't love his army, which I think that has to be your main thing in 40k. Is you have to love your army, because the rules, they change so fast.
Yes.
If you don't love your models and always want to play with them no matter what, I don't think it's going to be for you. Because I love all my armies equally.
Yeah.
Except for the orcs.
You love it more, right?
I like them. I like them a lot. But I don't know. There's a reason I painted one squad of boys in 8 years.
Well, it's also the way that you're doing it is isn't time sensitive.
Yes,
It takes a
yes.
long time to do what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Yes, I do. I paint each orc with a different a different flesh recipe, so that they all have a little bit of a
Yeah.
different green going on.
And they take a little bit longer to paint.
Mm-hmm.
It is a really neat effect though when you have them all
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah, each one is a little unique. Some of them are real green, some of them are hot green,
Yeah.
some of them are almost brown.
Hmm.
I think I actually do
Hmm.
want to slip in some that are almost brown.
Hmm.
The letter J asks, what game are these little salamanders from? These are not from any game. These are 3D printed models made from a artist called Cobra Mode. So if you like these little guys, you can get the STL from them, or I purchased these from a seller on Etsy who was printing them out and making them available for purchase. But I think they're lovely little salamanders
Yeah.
with weapons.
They're very cute.
Just trying to get this fan into a state that I am happy with. Maybe I'll just work on this fan guy for a bit. Just to get him looking real saucy.
Real fan-like.
Mm-hmm. Nice smiley face emoji, the letter J.
I love on the Daka Daka forums
Mm-hmm.
how they have all the orc emojis.
Yes.
Absolutely
Daka
adorable.
Daka.
That website has not changed at all
No.
since it was created,
Yep.
probably.
Oh yeah, you can't search things on Daka Daka. What you do is you type into Google what you want, and then type got Daka Daka at the end. And hopefully
Yeah.
that gets you close to what you were looking for. The search function is a little bit... I mean, I think it's just bogged down because I don't think they get rid of stuff. Or at least they don't get rid of stuff in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
Is there a really good... I mean, I guess Daka Daka, but is there a really good 40k forum out there? The letter J says, I don't consider myself a furry, but I do like the anthropomorphic fantasy characters. Well, it looks like the letter J, you are a furry. No, I mean this isn't really furry. Furry is usually like it's a bird, but like from the neck down they're just a person. These are somewhat anthropomorphized, but they're also kind of regular salamanders just wearing clothes.
Well, some of them are. I mean, they're not wearing pants.
None of them are wearing
Most
pants.
of them. So I don't know if you're. I don't really know if you're proving your point here. Yeah. I don't know. I used to really like the Warhammer 40k Reddit page, but now people just post their model pictures there and then their Instagram handles. So it's like, well, just put it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there should be a Warhammer 40k pictures or model pics, and then just a Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
Because now things get lost, and because I mean, there's so many people a part of it. Like when I was trolling on it way back in the day, I mean, it was I think they had under 100,000 people on it. Now it's like 300,000 or something. So it's like 3 times the garbage that it used to be. That's a lot because there was a lot of garbage.
That
before.
is a tricky thing. Because once you invite everyone, you know, you get the riffraff. I know a lot of people.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I know a lot of
Mhm.
people lament on the replica prop forum that they opened it up to anyone, and so now it's basically
Mm.
the replica prop cosplay page. Because
Yeah.
cosplay isn't quite replica prop. It's not the replica prop in the sense that they meant when they were first creating it. Because what they wanted is they wanted people who were
Right.
like, hey, let's screen grab every single picture that exists of the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters and meticulously recreate it piece by piece. It
Right.
wasn't. It was. They weren't. They didn't really want like,
Yeah.
hey, I saw this thing on TV. Anyone got the STL?
Mhm. How do I make this out of
Mm-hmm.
foam? I have a con in 3 days. How do I make this whole thing?
Mm-hmm. I remember. I don't think it wasn't the RPF, but there was actually another forum dedicated to people who made cosplays. Who not cosplays, but made costumes of the Predator. And they said that, hey, we
Hmm.
always get a huge boost of members in October for Halloween. And so
Uh,
just know that, like, you're not going to get a Halloween costume. People charge some real
mm.
money for this stuff. So
Yeah.
you gotta be willing to expect that, or else get lost.
Yeah.
There was some cool stuff though. There was one guy who was my height, and he wanted
Mhm.
to dress up as the Predator, and so he actually built himself stilts. And so
Oh, that's amazing.
he built himself basically an insane high heel out of like an insane high heel, so that his foot would be in like the in like the lower leg.
Hmm. Amazing.
The letter J says, the YouTube algorithm suggested you, by the way, your series on bases. I saw you were active, so I subscribed. Was that Blue Moon?
What's that blue moon?
Absolutely not. That was a non alcoholic soda. I
Yeah,
would
you would
I
never
would
do such a
never
thing on
allow
stream.
the devil's nectar in this house.
Oh.
Oop.
Hmm.
I think this guy's my favorite so far. His shirt is just kind of turning out.
Yeah, it does look really good. Uh, no, we should play Kill Team with Ben.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow. No, we have work to do, but we'll figure it
Yeah,
out. We'll find the
unfortunately.
time.
I messaged him a little bit today
Ooh,
since
yeah.
he caught our
Mm-hmm.
stream.
Oops. That's a little. There we go. Sometimes the edge highlights. Sometimes it edge highlights you. What does that mean? I don't know. Look at his lovely little belly. Getting paint all over it. I'm gonna very carefully pick out the collar of his shirt. I think if I was one of these ninjas, I think I would want to be the giant star guy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
It just seems like the best weapon.
Nick, do you have a channel as well? I do
Oh, he
not.
does. It's called
I
Eons of
do
Battle.
yeah, I do the editing for these videos, and then I help Jay with the videos
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Lucky Bat calls out the chat. Which axolotl is everyone? Here, I can give you the options. There is, choose your fighter. There is giant throwing star guy. There is a very sassy man with a fan and a jacket. There is this guy with a big old sword. There is this guy with the size. And then there's this lovely guy who has a very stubby little sword.
I'm the fan one. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The letter J. They're all cool. That wasn't the question.
But which one are you? I am all of them. Mm-hmm. I am them all.
That's the mom answer. They're all good. When the sibling,
I love all my children.
When the siblings come up, which one do you like? Which of
and the real answer should be
which of us do you love more?
All
right, this guy's coming along nicely. Who else? This guy with the shirt. I blocked out a lot of his lights and shadows, so I think now I just need to blend them. So I'm gonna get my blender, throw in some ice cubes, throw this guy in there. Give him a few seconds on high.
Mm-hmm.
His silly joke. Everybody laugh.
I get. Ha 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 ha. Laugh in the chat. Mm-hmm.
Solomon says the big sword guy, which is the one that has a mount. Lucky Bat says it is this guy with the sword. He comes with a little mount that is not on this table right now, but it looks like an eel. Wow, they had salamanders for bait. I've never heard of that. Seems like a lot of work for bait. Aren't salamanders kind of hard to... I had, for a very short amount of time, I had newts. And they're very hard to keep. Because they're very, very fragile. I think they died.
Yeah, and you ate all of them.
They were delicious.
Just couldn't help yourself. That's the big problem with them. You just want to put them in your mouth.
Definitely trying some new things with these guys, and I think I am learning a lot. Some good, some bad. They are all getting paint on them though, which is good. I think because I'm really good at kind of like a hybrid of the Games Workshop style, where you kind of block everything out with their base colors, and then you just brush on their lights and darks. And with these guys, instead of doing that, I'm painting with very, very, very thin colors in lots of layers. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of working in a way. Like this guy, you know, he's definitely brighter up here on his back, and then darker like under him. But it's a little
Mm-hmm.
sloppy. I think
Mm-hmm.
over time I could get good at this though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know my my buttery blends yet.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, the letter J. I've been working at it for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Ah, the good old days. Having painting parties because we all didn't know what we were
Yeah,
doing.
ah, the painting parties. They were so much fun. We would work all day and we would each get like two guys done.
Yep.
And then Sean would get fussy.
I want to go to
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's.
I want popcorn. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just going through your
Mm-hmm.
fridge. just, just going through every room,
Mm-hmm.
just looking at
Yeah, I
stuff.
remember that. Yep.
Uh,
Interesting guy.
that was wild. Too bad he died.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's no longer with us.
I mean, I don't know. Probably. I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
Mm-hmm.
Now's the time, Sean. Reveal yourself on the live stream.
Yeah. Picture it didn't happen.
Or would we... Oh my god. Or join us on Skype.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be amazing.
The thing about this,
And give us your Tao.
my towel.
We'll
Ah,
get
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah.
The thing about this style where you
Mhm.
use really thin paints is it's easy to darken. It's not as easy to lighten. Because you can't even jump straight
Mhm.
back up to like a white or a light version of the color because then it just looks like a line.
Mhm. So do you think you have to go light first and then go down to dark?
No, I think you just
Because you started with like a medium.
I started with a pretty light. I started with this white like blue gray.
Ah.
So kind of a middle of where I wanted to be. That was probably a little too light. I want to leave a little bit of a shadow there. Like I think it works really well here on his belly, and then right up to under his arm. But then here on the back of his head, I think the shadows are a little too liney.
Hmm.
So I think I just need to lighten everything a little. There are some people, I've seen a lot of painters, well actually like what people who are very seasoned veterans with painting, what they see is they actually see like more surface area than you see. Like this happened a lot when I started to get good at painting Space Marine faces. Because you see, like you're like,
Mhm.
okay, so you know you get a little spot of highlight under the eyes, on the cheekbone, on the nose, and you're like, that's all the surface area there is. But then you see some really quality work where they'll paint like stubble on the brow, and then they'll paint. They'll be able to may take advantage of more space. They'll paint some stubble for the hair on a bald head. It's important if you're going to do the eyes to kind of almost make it look like they're wearing eyeshadow. You got to paint like the whole eye region black or very dark brown, and then you add back in your whites. Otherwise, the eyes will get lost because of the scale. Yeah, I've lightened up his back of head nicely. That's the technical term when you're talking about salamanders.
Yeah.
It's the back of head region ish. That's what you'll find in like a
we've been going through our biology.
In a field manual.
Since we got made fun of the first day. Yeah, we've been learning a lot more. But rocks are mammals.
Rocks are mammals.
It's the one thing that I know.
Yeah, if there's anything we can be absolutely sure of.
And Rock'em Sock'em robots. And that as well.
Yeah. What I'm doing to try to lighten my my paint a little is I'm mixing each of my dark colors with white and then going over them again. And it seems like it's working pretty nice. Adding a little more range in between the darkest darks and the lightest lights. Just like the Dark Knight. Speaking of Batman, one thing that's always made me really, really mad.
Work that in there.
So you've got Batman Begins. Great movie, great title. Very unique, awesome. Then you've got The Dark Knight. Boom, did it again. Great movie and great title. Then, The Dark Knight Rises. You can't reuse the name. What the heck? So now the trilogy is Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. Makes no sense. It feels like you have one movie and then a pair. And it's not like Batman Begins was not as successful. Batman Begins was a really well-received movie. So I guess people were so in love with Dark Knight. They were like, we can't put this movie out and not have Dark Knight in the title.
Like they can't afford to try anything new. That has to do very, very, very well.
There's a fantastic joke from the director comedian. What's his name?
Steven Spielberg.
Yes, it was Steven Spielberg. No, he did Tusk. He did Yoga Hosers. He did. Did he make Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Can't think of his name, but I'm gonna steal his joke anyway. There's a movie called Now You See Me, which is a really, really lame movie where magicians have to pull off a heist. And you know what's cool about magic? It's that they do it right in front of you. They trick you. You know it's not cool? Magic in a movie where they just fake it. Yes, Kevin Smith. Thank you, Craig. That would have bugged me all evening. This is a Kevin Smith joke, or just, I don't know, anecdote. But the movie Now You See Me, it has a sequel. Now, what does Now You See Me mean? Because it's a magician thing. Now you see me, now you don't. And so the movie Now You See Me got a sequel. So what do you think they called the sequel?
Now You Don't?
Nope, they called it Now You See Me Too.
Yeah.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Pretty good.
It's so obvious. But they're like, no, if we call it Now You Don't, everyone's going to be like, wait, is it the movie about the magicians? Is the kid from The Social Network going to do magic again? Is he going to pretend to do magic while they just CGI all the stuff? It's so lame. It's so lame, because it's not magic. It's just fake. Like they do impossible magic tricks. Like the guy from The Social Network, in the middle of a crowd, he takes a stage dive in the rain, and he splashes on the ground made out of water. And that's not cool, because it's just fake. Because the crowd's like, oh my god, that's impossible. Yep, it sure is. They faked it. Just like the moon missions. No, those are all real. Except for the first couple. They hadn't ironed it all out yet.
Yeah. Nah. And landing on the moon and all that kind of stuff. Yep. Nobody's ever been on the moon.
You know what was not a very good movie, but an interesting concept? The movie Apollo 18. Where they go to the... It's a found footage movie about the people who went to the moon and were attacked by moon monsters. Except for... It's really dumb. I think they were stealing this... Oops, I just smacked the camera. So you guys will be seeing that shortly. They were aping off of a movie that called... Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, which was excellent. It was a fake documentary about some events that happened where aliens showed up, and they pretended everything was real in the fake movie. So in Apollo 18, at the very end, they're like, "This is all real, and if you want to know more, go to www.lunartruth.com." Guess what www.lunartruth.com was?
Like a merch
it was
page?
just an advertisement for the movie you just watched.
That's
and
amazing.
it was great. It wasn't like it was in the trailers. Like, you have to watch the movie and then go to the website for the movie you just watched and be unimpressed. It's not a very good movie. You guys don't have to watch it. But
oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to watch it.
Yeah, no, you have to.
Well, I have to.
Oh yeah, I saw it in
no
theaters.
No one else does. Yep.
Which it made it sting all the harder.
With your smuggled in candy.
Craig, on the online review site Rotten Tomatoes, the film was given a 23% rotten score based on 73 reviews. I can believe it. It's kind of a sucky movie. I also like how you formatted that. Or you're quoting somebody on the online review site Rotten Tomatoes.
Real scholar right here.
I mean, Rotten Tomatoes isn't the be all end all, but it's kind of all we got for I guess film review. Because I don't think Siskel and Ebert are up to much lately.
What about IMDb?
IMDb is pretty great. Although the tricky thing with IMDb is I don't know, everything new gets a 7 just because of
Mm.
the passage of time. So like Casablanca
Mm.
only has like 20,000 reviews, but Avengers Endgame has 2 million. So it's
Mm.
kind of tricky. If you look at their top 200 movies, which I think is curated now, but it used to be like whatever new Marvel movie was always like the top ones were always the new Marvel movies because that's just what was getting hits on IMDb.
Mm. But now it's
It
curated.
might be.
Mm.
Hey. Have there been any like groundbreaking movies out lately? Like stuff that's gonna be remembered forever?
Well, lately, as in like the past 5 years,
Yeah.
or
Some of the Avengers movies are really good. Or the Marvel movies.
Mm. Yeah.
Iron Man 1.
No, I'm not. I'm not a huge Iron Man. I love the
Iron
Iron
Man
Mans.
all the Iron Mans are great. Even
Mm.
2. Nobody be mean. Iron Man 2 is a fine film.
Mhm. Do you think? Do you think two is better than three?
No, 3 is so much better than 2. 3 is a
Mm.
masterpiece.
I think two is better than three.
3 is a masterpiece.
I don't know. Because there's the one with the kid, right? There's a
There's a
kid in
kid in
it
it for
for a
like
little bit, and
for
that's
like
annoying.
5 minutes, and he's not a bad
It's
kid.
annoying.
And Tony Stark is really, really mean to him.
Hmm.
He calls him a pussy for being sad about his dad leaving.
Well, yeah, I mean that is just a pussy
Mm-hmm.
move.
Has the Iron Man 2 has the best quote: "Take off your socks and put on your Crocs. We're gonna get wet." Boy,
See, that's why I
when
like
does he
it.
say that in the movie? That's a phenomenal quote.
That should
That
be
should be
your
my
quote.
quote. But Iron Man 3 has got some gosh darn good stuff in it. When he has to save everyone on Air Force 1 and they're all falling out of the sky and he has to figure out how to save everyone cuz Jarvis does like a math problem and says, "You can only save 4." And then Iron Man's like, "Nope, I got this." And then he figures out how to save everyone. Ah,
Hmm.
so good. Iron Man 2 is great too. I think for me it goes Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2. All right, folks, it's about that time. So we're wrapping her up.
Yeah, you know what that means.
Hmm. So a little bit more work.
The big old burp.
I'll try to have something. I'll try to have maybe tomorrow. I'll just kind of finish up the blue before stream, so that we can be doing something a little more fun and interesting on these guys. Maybe I'll paint their headbands,
Yeah.
and I think the blue is coming along nicely. I think on most of them
Hmm.
the blue is just about done. Just a little bit more fine
Hmm.
tuning, but I think it looks pretty snazzy, if I do say so myself. Ooh, and if you look closely, you'll see a great big blob of black paint right on the hand. So I'll have to deal with that later. Worst case scenario.
I can't wait for that
Mm-hmm.
part. Part that I'm looking forward to the most.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Yep. See you later. We have a video.